Welcome. Have you ever dreamed of learning a new language, but maybe you weren't quite sure where to start? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down some of the best ways to make that dream happen.
A lot of us do, but it can feel like this huge, overwhelming challenge. The good news is, it's probably not as hard as you think. We're going to show you a really clear path to not only get started, but to actually succeed.
Okay, let's dive right in. Before we get into all the tips and tricks, let's quickly go over a few keywords. Understanding these will make your whole journey so much smoother.
First up, we have vocabulary. This is super simple. It's just all the words of a language. Think of them as your building blocks. The more words you have, the more things you can build.
Next is grammar. Now, if vocabulary words are the bricks, grammar is like the blueprint. It shows you how to put those bricks together correctly so you can build strong, clear sentences that actually make sense.
And this one is my favorite. A cognate. This is basically a cheat code for language learners. It's a word that looks or sounds really similar in two different languages, like correct in English and correcto in Spanish. Finding these is like getting free words.
All right, now that we know the basic terms, let's get to the fun part. How do you choose which language you should learn? Let's figure it out.
So here's a little secret. For English speakers, some languages are they're easier to learn, and it's usually because they're part of the same language family. That means they share history and they share a lot of those cognates we just talked about.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This is really cool. The U.S. Foreign Service Institute estimates it takes about 600 hours of study to get pretty good at languages like Norwegian, Swedish, and Spanish. Why? Because they're closely related to English.
Let me give you a quick example. In Norwegian, if you want to say, "Can you help me?" you say, "Kan du hjelpe meg?" See that? The words are in the exact same order as in English. Little things like that make a huge difference.
Okay, so you've picked a language. Fantastic. But is there a secret to learning it, faster? Well, science says yes, and it's all about how your brain is wired to learn.
Think about it like this. Learning a language is a lot like learning to ride a bike. You can read books about it all day long, but you'll only get better when you actually get on the bike and start pedaling. You have to do it.
And this slide shows the difference perfectly. Listening and reading, that's called comprehension, is passive. It's easier and it's a great start. But the real magic happens with production. That's from your actively speaking or writing. Yeah, it's harder, but it's like a workout for your brain, building much stronger memories.
So, the most important thing to remember is that active practice is the key. So let's build a little toolkit for you with the best tips to help you practice every day.
Here are 3 simple things to start with. 1. Make it a daily habit. Seriously, just 15 minutes every day is so much better than one long session on the weekend. 2. Make it fun. Watch movies, listen to music, do things you already enjoy. And 3. You have to practice speaking. Talk to a friend or even just talk to yourself.
And please remember this. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's totally normal. In fact, it's a necessary part of learning. Every single expert was once a beginner who made a lot of mistakes. And if you want to make your practice even more powerful, try some of these tips. Keep a notebook for new words. Try to think in your new language, even about simple things. And of course, if you can, try to talk with native speakers. It makes all the difference.
All right, let's put this into practice right now with some useful English phrases. These are called lexical chunks, which is just a fancy way of saying groups of words that native speakers often use together. Learning them helps you sound way more natural. So, for example, when you agree with someone, instead of just saying yes, you can use a full phrase like, "That's a good point," or "I see what you mean." It just sounds more fluent, right? And here's another super helpful one. If you don't understand something, don't be afraid to ask. You can just say, "Could you explain that again, please?" Or, "What do you mean by that?" These are polite, clear, and really useful. And there you have it. You now have a solid plan and the tools you need to start your language learning journey. So, what's the next step?
Well, if you want to keep learning and maybe connect with some other students, please come join our community at Morozova School. You can find all the links you need right in the description.
So I'll leave you with this one last thought. What is the very first thing you'll try today? Maybe you'll listen to a song or learn one new phrase. Whatever it is, the most important thing is to just start. Thanks for watching.